Hello everyone and welcome to another Marvel Legends Wave review. In today's video we're taking a look at the latest Marvel Legends line. This is the Marvel Avengers Build-A-Figure Thanos wave, released in the run-up to Avengers Endgame. And out of this entire wave we have 3 cast members, one of which is from Infinity War, and the rest are comic and cartoon characters, which doesn't bother me because I absolutely adore the characters that we got, but I know that that's going to bother some people. Maybe we'll get more Avengers in the second wave. I do also have the 2-pack box set of Hawkeye and Black Widow, both of which are exceptionally good figures, but we're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about this wave. First off the bat, Captain America, probably the most bland, pointless figure in this wave. People may buy him just to get more figures with the quantum suit on. It's a very kind of stock-like head and shield. A quick look around the box. Get him on the side there. We get a kind of a digital promo image on the back there. We get a very brief bio. And we get the Thanos bath with all of the other figures in the line. Here we have him out of his packaging, and it would appear that somebody did indeed get this man a shield, because he's back sporting his Cap America shield. I actually really like the suits. They look quite nice. They've got the quantum device there on their hands. It's just very generic, unfortunately. The head is definitely nothing special. It bears a resemblance to Chris Evans, but again, it's nothing amazing. Not really up to their normal standard. And the paint applications on there's a lot of overspray kind of around those cheeks, and a very kind of dodgy line where it sits just under his chin. I can only see people really buying this just to get some of these suits. I don't know, it's just something about him which it just doesn't wow me, unfortunately. Now in the 2-pack we do get multiple heads. We get heads for different characters, so maybe somebody will buy the 2-pack and then get a few of these, because these don't actually come with any bath piece, so it's not an essential part if you're looking to build the Thanos bath. Articulation, head can look up, down, left and right, shoulders can go all the way around, come out to the side, upper bicep rotation, double jointed bend on those elbows. We have bend and rotation on the wrist, rotation on the waist, nice abdominal crunch there. Legs this far forwards, this far backwards, out to the side, upper thigh rotation, and not 1, but 2 bends on the knee, and I've got a load of factory fluff on my knee. Oh dear. Feet can go up and down, and of course we can pivot them left and right. What do you all think of this? Do we think we're going to get a release as like a multi-pack down the line, where they're going to give us all of these in their correct outfits from the movie, other than just these quantum realm suits? I'm not sure. Is it just a quick way to make a few bucks? Possibly. Are we still going to probably buy into it? Without a doubt. I mean, I can see people chopping and changing the heads out on these, mixing and matching. There's definitely a lot of different options. Some more likely to happen than others. Next figure in the wave is probably my favourite from the wave. It is, of course, Ronan, aka Hawkeye gone mad. This is an absolutely stunning figure, and it does come with a bath piece, as well as various different accessories. Taking a quick look at the bio and the artwork there. Absolutely adore how that looks. Right, now before we take a look at Ronan himself, let's take a look at the accessories. We get Thanos' armoured arm with the bicep kind of cut there. Not the nicest of sculpts, I don't think, but I believe this gauntlet is actually a separate piece. I don't know if you heat it up, if it would actually come away from the arm if you wanted to remove the glove. But that's his arm anyway. It's got to be better than the first bath we got, surely. We get a throwing hand there, where he's throwing those sharp blades. Love the gold grip there on the glove. And we get 2 blades as well, both of different lengths. Now the swords can be mounted in the sheath at the back there, and he looks exceptional. And now to switch out the hand, just want to gently pry this one out and then work this one back in. I can kind of lift that arm out, rotate the head. It's definitely got a kind of a Storm Shadow vibe about him, hasn't he? Look at that. Absolutely adore that kind of throwing effect. That's a good look for Ronan. Yes, it's not exactly comic book accurate, but it's pretty darn good nonetheless. You can definitely tell that it's Clint under there. The eyes kind of give it away. This whole armor section here is buckled up along the side. So let's just cover the articulation before we take everything off. We'll put his hood back on, and the head can move left and right with the hood on, and we can go up and we can go down slightly, but the range of motion greatly increases when we remove that hood. The arms can go all the way around. We can come out to the side and down, up eye rotation, double joint on the elbow, rotation and bend on the wrist. The waist can bend slightly, but not a great deal, and even the waist rotation is very stiff and hindered. And we can go this far forwards, this far back with the legs, out to the side, upper thigh rotation. We've got a double jointed bend on that knee, and his hood just wants to keep popping off now. Now they've got it off once, it just wants to keep coming off. And there's up and down and pivot on those feet. Now we can remove this. This can unbuckle and come off. Let's remove his throwing star hand and replace it with this one for now. And this can untab all the way, and just working it up over the back and then off the arms. I mean, it's not essential to take that off, and they didn't really have to give us the option to be able to do it, but I like the fact that they did. They've given us options, and there's even sculpt underneath here as well, which I think is nice. Now let's see how the head looks. See, now I think that could be a basis for a lot of good customs. We can get some really nice kind of ninja looking characters out of that. Again, really nice sculpt. Not sure if we've had these parts before. They don't initially jump out at me as they're kind of repaints. We may well have done, but I think what they've done here is delivered a very good interpretation of that character. Next up, we have Ebony Maw, our final member of the Black Order, and he comes with Thanos' leg. We get a quick look at his bio. Now before we take a look at Ebony, let's just take a look at Thanos' leg. I think his feet are smaller. He's giving himself smaller shoes in here, but the detailing on the armor is pretty nice. I would like maybe like a black wash or something over that, but that's a pretty nice bend on those knees. Now Ebony himself, that's a really nice sculpt there. Really does resemble his character. Now it's not perfect, but it's definitely not bad. It's easily noticeable as him. It's a bit messy around that neck fold. The head just doesn't sit as nicely and as neatly as I would like. I do love this flexible trench that kind of comes down, and that very quizzical, evil hand gesture as well. It's very in keeping. I just love how elongated his arms are as well. Gripes, and maybe he's too big, or maybe the likes of Thanos and Carl Obsidian are just way too small. The articulation, the head, is somewhat limited by this hair at the back here. We can kind of come down and up a little bit. We can go left and right, and we can pose somewhat quizzically. Arms can go all the way around on that ball and then come out to the side. We've got an upper bicep rotation set down slightly further on that arm, which is a nice turn. Really deep double jointed bend on the elbow to pull off that quizzical itchy chin pose. We've got rotation and a bend on the wrist. We have enough torso rotation here, and although we have this cut going all the way around the outer side of the costume, unfortunately there is no abdominal crunch. The legs can come this far forward. Even his legs are extremely lanky, aren't they? This far back. Out to the side, upper thigh rotation. We get not one, but two bends on those trousers, and he got kind of rolled in, tucked in trousers into his very skinny boots. Again, no boot cut there though, just sculpted into the top there, and we do have up and down, and we have some pivoting on those ankles, but there's just so much character there. Yeah, he'd definitely be a Slytherin, wouldn't he? Absolutely adore this. Now, for a movie wave, that's a pretty poor showing for movie figures, really, isn't it? 3 out of the wave. But hey, at least we get some decent characters out of it as well. This is, of course, Living Laser. He comes with Thanos' torso and some energy blasts. And on the back there, we have a quick bio about Arthur Parks, the Living Laser. He squared off against Iron Man more than a couple of times, didn't he? Now, Living Laser comes with the torso piece for Thanos. Armor looks really nice on there, much better, in my opinion, than the original Thanos Bath, but at the same time, he's very kind of narrow, isn't he? I pictured Thanos kind of being a lot more hench and broad. But maybe once we put it all together, that may look a little bit different, but really nice shading in there. Really do prefer that armored look. We get 2 of these energy bursts as well, kind of laser electricity. And then we get Pinhead himself, the very long, elongated head. And we've got some gorgeous translucent plastic around the crotch piece, fading up into that painted chest area. I do feel sorry somewhat for this wave, because I've never seen so many waves purchased and then the same figures being resold without the bath parts over and over and over. You check out the Marvel forums, everybody's selling these figures minus the bath parts, and not giving any of these cartoon and comic characters any love. I think these are fantastic. I think they're going to look absolutely awesome along with something like the Spider-Man figures, and I look forward to having the cartoon and comic inspired figures. I love the movieverse, and of course it's going to be popular at the moment with the film just around the corner, but at the same time, I absolutely adore these. These have got so much character in them. I mean, it's the Living Laser. Give the guy some love. Next up, we have Nighthawk. Again, cartoon and comic book character. It says on the back he was Squadron Sinister, but I believe I'm pretty sure it's Squadron Supreme to begin with. He, of course, comes with Thanos' other arm and this new blade. Some people are calling it the Infinity Blade or the Avenger Killer, but I'm not sure if it does have a title. We get a quick bio on Nighthawk as well. Right, before we look at Nighthawk, let's have a look at this secondary arm of Thanos. Got that kind of gauntlet going on the side there. A much better purple tone this time around, in my opinion, although we do have a smudge on that arm, and then we have the bladed weapon as well. Not a great deal of detailing involved on there, but hey, beggars can't be choosers. I love that it's not perfectly straight and it's already showing some signs of battle damage. Now, I really wanted to love this figure. I love the Squadron Supreme. I believe this is only our second member thus far. First being the all-powerful Hyperion. It's just something very kind of lackluster about Nighthawk. I don't know, they've kind of cut corners with him. The paint on the chest especially, it's really tatty. The blades on his hands painted up that same orange with a kind of a hint of gold over the top. It just feels like they've rushed him out somewhat. Probably the worst painted figure in this wave. Just looks thick and sloppy on that chest. I don't know, maybe it's me being too picky? Am I expecting too much from a figure? I mean, I love the cape. They've nailed that. That's pretty much spot on. Although it does really want to tip him backwards. There's just so much curvature there that you have to kind of bend his legs slightly to get him to stand stable. But I do love how he looks. It's just, I think they made the wrong decision trying to paint over that blue. They would have been better off applying blue to maybe a yellow mould, do it the other way. But at least we have a second member. Next up we have Citizen V. Again, another very random character, but awesome nonetheless. This is of course Zemo, done up as a member of the Thunderbolts. Who else have we had? We've had Songbird as well, I believe. Is that the only other member? No, I'd like them to do characters like Atlas and that as well, but we shall see. Citizen V comes with Thanos' other leg. Again, much the same as the first, only vice versa. And he looks exceptional. Love the way the wind is blowing in that cape. The shoulder pads are really nicely done. The cape in general is really nicely done. Love that pearlescent white blade, and he's got a lovely black wash over him. Considering the other figures in the line that could have had this black wash applied, it's a shame they didn't. It's a shame that the paint applications applied to Citizen V. Shame they haven't done the same thing with the likes of Nighthawk. Absolutely adored how Citizen V was portrayed, and actually the Black Bolts in general portrayed in the Avengers Assemble cartoon. Really enjoyed what they did with those. Just a very, just a bog standard buck on here as well, but love the wraps around the chest and the detailing on the boots. It's a figure that I wasn't expecting to like as much as I do. And last but by no means least, the highlight of this wave, in my opinion, the mighty Hercules. Quick look at the back of the box. That's a gorgeous piece of artwork there, showing the immortal champion of Olympus. Now, the demigod comes with a few accessories. We first of all get the angry Thanos bath face. Now this, I believe, is the same kind of angry face underneath here that we got with the 3-pack Thanos. Now, I haven't got this face, as I had the original Build-A-Figure Thanos. But I believe this was the one that came with that 3-pack. And then we get Hercules as weapons. Some nice battle damage on there. Some wood and some wrap there. We get his sword. Again, lovely little chips away at that blade. And as standard, he comes with 2 clenched fists. And then we get these 2 open palms so he can wield those weapons. If we compare Hercules to his fantastic first take that Hasbro did, they have come on leaps and bounds. He just looks so much better, although they didn't include the scepter with this version of Hercules, which seems like a very strange thing for them to do. I'd thought that's something that would come as standard with Hercules, but I absolutely adore that sculpt. Not sure I'm a fan of him sporting the man bun. Didn't strike me as the sort of thing Hercules would have, but that's an amazing sculpt. Love the hair sculpted onto the chest as well, and he is super hench. Love those trousers and the boots with the straps. Definitely one of my most anticipated figures from the wave. And of course, here he is with Ares. These two had a few battles and a few in-family disputes. And if we switch out the hands for the grasping hands, he does hold the scepter quite nicely. So that is the new Avengers Wave motley crew. Let's build Thanos. First we want to take his torso piece and we want to just push and apply these legs. Oh, they fit in there really nicely. Just try and avoid getting this skirt piece here stuck. The arms are going to slide in, lock, and come down. And again on this side, slide that in all the way, and then bring those down like so. And we can bring in the head sculpt like so, bring that down, and then the weapon, whether you call it the Infinity Blade or the Avenger Killer, whatever its official name is. I'm sure that it is balanced. And there we have him fully combined up. Love how he looks now. I believe that's the gauntlet all burnt out on his arm there. I've already seen some footage from Endgame where the Avengers kind of take the fight to Thanos on his lonely farm planet. I do love how he looks. This armor is kind of what I was expecting first time round from the bath, but unfortunately that was not the case. I mean, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a bad bath, it's just the colour was wrong and he's just not big enough in my opinion. I just think the new one definitely managed to capture the Mad Titan better in my opinion, albeit his feet are a lot smaller on the new one. And he was obviously wearing shoes that were too big for him, and just look, he's lost some weight as well around that midriff, worrying and stressing about what has taken place. Now the gold of the original gauntlet does match quite nicely up to here, so I'm wondering if we can apply some heat on this arm, slide these gauntlets off and switch them over if you want a pre-snap Thanos in all of his armor. I was wondering if that could work, and I'm definitely a much bigger fan of how the Black Order looks with Thanos dressed up like this. And I know the colours don't match on this particular version of Thanos, but he does look kind of nice without the helmet as well, using the alternative head. So if you can get a hold of maybe the heads from the 3-pack, then I can see that being a nice display option as well. And to give you an idea of how he scales with the likes of Captain America. Now articulation is pretty good. The head can go down, up, we can go left, and we can go right. They've got a nice range on the shoulders. They can go all the way around as well. Upper bicep rotation on the elbow, a bend, a rotation on the wrist, and a pivot on the wrist. We do get an abdominal crunch, always very welcome on these big guys. No waist rotation in there though, unfortunately. That's a solid unit. The legs can come this far forwards, this far backwards, out to the side. Upper thigh rotation, and as previously mentioned, we do have that double jointed knee, and then we get up and down on those feet as well. It's more of a left and a right than a pivot, but it works nonetheless. It's probably the most dynamic of the Thanos Build-A-Figures. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen, the latest offering from Marvel Legends in the form of their Avengers Wave Thanos Build-A-Figure. Really do like the Build-A-Figure himself. Ebony Maw is awesome. Hercules is amazing. Ronan's good. Pretty stoked for Citizen V. Laser's okay. Nighthawk's underwhelming, and Cap is a little generic. But all in all, it's definitely not the worst wave we've had, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to enjoy what Hasbro have delivered. Next up, I'll be reviewing that 2-pack, which in my opinion is probably the very best face sculpt of Scarlett Johansson that we've had from Hasbro. And until then, thank you all for watching. Goodbye.